Hello everyone, Michael the Librarian of Magic here, finding and cataloging the magical and pointing you to it. Today is October the 22nd, and I have returned with another Halloween drawing, another Halloween treat for you today. The same disclaimers on these drawings as always apply. And with that out of the way, today's drawing, Edgar Balthazar, the bumbling butler from 1970's Aristocats. This picture was really fun to draw because of all the different cats, and the pose of Balthazar was very funny. This is a still from the film. Everybody wants to be a cat on the bottom. That's my embellishment, of course. But that's one of the memorable things from the movie. Everybody wants to be a cat. This was enjoyable to draw. You have Balthazar here, and then these are all of the alley cats from the Alley Cat Jazz combo. Basically, you have Peppo here. He plays accordion in the group. This is Shungon. He plays piano and drums. This is Scat Cat up on the top on the head. He's the leader of the group. He plays trumpet. This over here is Hit Cat. He plays like an acoustic guitar. And then down here is Billy Boss. He plays bass. And they're just a fun jazz group of all the different cats that are harassing Balthazar here. In the movie, if you aren't that familiar, Balthazar is sort of a loyal butler to this rich lady, Madame Bonfamille. And then he discovers that she is leaving all of her fortune in her will, to her cats. And he goes from being a loyal servant to being sort of a conniving guy who's trying to get the money for himself and get rid of these cats because he finds it outrageous that she would leave that fortune to these cats. The butler here was worked on in all these various segments by several of the legendary Nine Old Men: John Lounsbury, Milt Kahl, Frank Thomas, and Eric Larson. But from what I could gather, the design and everything like that of Balthazar here is primarily Milt Kahl's work. Basically, in the end of the story, when he's trying to wrestle with all these cats and everything like that, he sort of bumbles his way. He's got this plan to put the cats in a crate and ship them to Timbuktu so that they'll be gone and out of his hair and he can get the inheritance and everything. But he ends up, by wrestling with the cats and being not very smart, he ends up getting himself locked in the trunk and getting himself shipped to Timbuktu. The Madam Adelaide thinks that he just left of his own accord, and she writes him out of the will because he just left, but he actually ended up accidentally shipping himself off, hoisted on his own petard, so to say. The fact that he's this sort of butler is kind of a riff on the whole, butler did it murder mystery thing, where it's very common that the butler is a chief suspect, and in this case the butler is the guy who's doing all of the stuff. And he really has never been a meetable or walk-around character at Disney parks, per se. He would be extremely rare, but they did feature him at Disneyland Paris in 2018 in an event called Disney Loves Jazz, and they had him, a place where you could meet him and you could pose with the Timbuktu basket and everything like that. So he was in this sort of very rare instance that you could come across him. But in the American parks, I don't think he's ever made an appearance. He's kind of rare. Aristocats is sort of, it's not it's got its audience, but it's not like super well beloved compared to some other movies. It's kind of, I think, middling with Disney fans. Some people really love it. A lot of people don't care for it at all. And then there's a significant group of people that probably just don't even really know about it. Compared to a lot of the other films. So it's kind of cool to give it a little bit of attention in this video with this drawing. Edgar Balthazar was voiced by a British actor called Roddy Maud Roxby, who was really a theater guy and an improv artist. He basically did a lot of theater work and coached improv for most of his career, for over 40 years. This was the only voiceover role he ever took on. He ended up landing, a major Disney villain role but that was the only voiceover work he ever did. He featured on TV in various things, and he had about a dozen film roles over his entire career. But he did through improv circles and stuff like that. He did work on with some very notable people. Most notably, before Monty Python ever became a thing, he collaborated with two of the Pythons, Michael Palin and Terry Jones, on a series called The Complete and Utter History of Britain, which I haven't seen, but that sounds like something that would be really interesting to check out. So that's kind of Roddy Maud Roxby. He did a good job with this role, um, and it's interesting that he didn't go more into voiceover and stuff like that. I mean, it seems like he's one of those people that just really had a passion for the stage and for improv and stuff like that. Another little tidbit about Balthazar is he was originally supposed to be paired with a scheming maid called Elvira, but they decided to not go that route. Maybe they thought that would clutter the film. Maybe they wanted to keep the emphasis on the cats. I'm not really sure why they didn't ultimately do that, but there were probably some, reasons why. And that's, basically sort of the various tidbits I found about Edgar Balthazar. He's just kind of a rarity of a villain. Not a lot of people talk about him. A lot of people do remember this movie, but they really remember it for the cats, and not that the villain has a especially big presence or anything like that. But I just thought I saw this still from the film, and I just wanted to draw it because it's just really funny. It was so amusing to get to tackle that. So this was very enjoyable to make, and if the Aristocats is one of your favorites, I hope you enjoyed the drawing and learning a little bit about Edgar Balthazar. Thanks as always for liking and commenting and subscribing on these videos. If there's anything you want to add about the Aristocats or anything that I've talked about here, please let me know down below. Please follow me tomorrow and for the rest of the month when I'll keep making new drawings of various villains and Halloween treats all the way until the end of October. I hope you're enjoying this series, and it's a nice little bright spot in the middle of your day so you can learn about these characters and the people that brought them to life. And until the next video, I hope you have an excellent day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.